You're listening to City of Muses on Paris Underground Radio. Hello, and welcome to City of Muses, a brand new podcast on the Paris Underground Radio Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, and each week I'll be sitting down with an artist or creative to talk about what inspires them, what their creative process is like, and how Paris fits into it all. Orlando Louis calls himself an entertainer, but as a talented singer, dancer, model, and actor, I'm just not sure that word is big enough. Orlando originated the roles of Scar and Mufasa in Paris's Broadway version of The Lion King, roles he still currently performs in Disneyland Paris. He created the Brown Sugar Show, celebrating African American music worldwide, as well as the soul-funk musical Blax, the musical. Orlando has performed all over the world, including in Jean-Paul Gaultier's Haute Couture tribute to Amy Winehouse, and with Hans Zimmer and Others. He has a new album on the way titled Black Narcissus, and when I first met him, he was also performing drag all over Paris. Hello, Orlando.
Hello, Jennifer. Hello, everyone.
It's so good to see you again. It's been so long.
That's true. So long. Time is running so fast, really. And I thought it was yesterday, but it's a long time.
It's been years, yeah. Well, so can you tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes, to sum it up, I'm just an entertainer. I'm a singer, dancer, actor, and I love to sometimes party promoter. I love to organize parties when I have time. So it's a mix of everything. And most of the time, I'm doing most musicals. I'm a singer in different musicals, and so I try to mix dancing and make people happy on stage. And yes, I'm very fortunate, very lucky to have different projects, very different style and different challenge. And I love that. I love challenging and do things different every time. So a little bit crazy sometimes about that.
Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Paris. And my parents came from Martinica. It's a French Caribbean island. I'm half from Brazil, and I've got French roots because, French, just like in French Brittany, were mixed during slavery time, So in my family, I've got a lot of people from that part of France, So there used to be masters and I mixed with a slave, 200 years ago. So I've got that kind of roots, and I did my DNA test 1 year ago, and I was surprised. I found that, of course, I've got roots from that part of France, French Brittany, but also from East European countries.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. I was okay, because that's true. I speak a little bit Russian, and I love that European countries. I perform a lot in Romania, Serbia, blah, blah, blah. And I feel great in that countries. I never felt, a stranger or, something like that. So, I don't know. It makes sense. I was a little bit surprised. I said, okay. I don't have the East European type, but more tropical and Caribbean. But I was very surprised, and as I sometimes say, okay, it makes sense for me.
So this entertaining part of you, where does that come from? Is your family entertainers?
No, not at all. My family is not entertainer at all. And I study history, philosophy, and like to be a journalist.
Oh.
Yes, really. And I was singing, dancing, writing plays when I was very young and dancing in the street. And I directed a play. I was 17 years old, a Tennessee Williams play. It was The Glass Menagerie in a big place for students, and I had great success. And I was all the time compelled. I have to choose between that part of me as a journalist, and at the same part, I was an artist inside me. And all my teachers, they were great with me, and I was very lucky to have great teachers. Just like this movie was a great impact in my life, Dead Poet Society. And my teacher, well, exactly the same. My philosophy teacher said, Carpe diem, Orlando, we have one life, achieve your dream, hang on to your dream. Impossible is possible. And my economic teacher, all my teachers, yeah, we saw you dance and sing. You're made for that job and go for it. And I said, are you sure? Because, show business is a little bit difficult. And they said, no, go for it. We believe in you. And yes, to have that kind of teacher was very powerful and gave me a great confidence. I said, okay, let's do it. But my parents, they were not happy with that matter. But I said, okay, I don't ask you nothing. I will pay for everything for my music school and stuff. And now they're proud. But I was very driven And I said, okay, I don't ask you anything, but I'll do my own way, but I can refuse that path and I will work hard for that. And I don't need your money and everything. And now they're proud of me. But it was a long process and it was a very difficult time for them to accept that part of my job, you know.
It takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage to make that kind of decision and then to stick with it.
That's true. That's true. But I was so driven. And so I created my own company. It's called Brown Sugar. We're still performing all over the world. We pitch to the music for Black music from the 70s with big costume, Afro wigs and stuff. So I've created, I was 20 years old and it's still on and we still have Ref Project and we're still performing in casinos in France, in Deauville, in many places all over the world. So I'm very happy because, yes, I'm in French, we said autodidact, you know, so I'm very happy that I didn't ask and I create my own path. So everything is possible, really.
That's definitely something to be proud of. The Glass Menagerie, did you act in that as well?
No, it's impossible because it's a self-portrait of Tennessee Williams and it's talking about his childhood. So it doesn't make sense to have a, black guy in the 40s or mid 50s. It doesn't make sense. I was very jealous, but I was very happy to see the reaction of the people. And I said, okay, there was one people in the audience understood the message because Tennessee Williams said, like me, carpe diem and seize the day, achieve your dreams. And that's the positive value of the play. And there was one people, she had my address. I don't know. She asked for someone and she wrote me a letter and she said, thank you. And now I want to be an artist myself and I'm going to work on it. And thank you for the play. So for me, art is powerful. You can change the world, but you can change people and change their daily life. And that's the real power for me of arts, singing, dancing or acting or do something like that. It's not only to do beautiful things. You have to, give people values and make them dream and give them the power to change their own life, their own way. I think so, yes.
I think so too. So as a Black man going into this arts world, I don't know that much about what it's like to be a Black performer. Obviously, I don't know anything about what it's like to be a Black performer.
I know.
but I don't know much about what it's like to be a Black performer here in France. What is that like?
It's a little bit different than the US because you don't have a lot of jobs just like in the US because in the US it's really worldwide and, very mainstream. As a singer and dancer, you have a lot of jobs, but as an actor, it's very different. That's why I said when I came to Paris after my study of history, philosophy, blah, 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 I said, I'm Black, I can sing, I can dance. As an actor, it's going to be complicated, to pay my own rent. And I said, I think the best way is to start as a dancer. So I started my artistic career as a dancer. I was backup dancer because I started very late. I didn't have jazz lessons, but not classical lessons because I started dancing. I was 20 years old. It's very late. So I have the dance level of someone as a backup dancer on TV shows and backup dancer for French famous artists, still like that. So I did a lot of TV shows and I used to take some singing classes and people say you have a great voice. You should go for it. And after something like 5-6 years, I said, okay, it's time to think more and things goes, very naturally. And at the same time, I used to organize parties in a nightclub. So it was a great experience because, yes, I could try new stuff. There was no pressure in clubbing, just like the Queen Club at Champs-Élysées. There was a monthly party, a Latino party, Afro house party, and there was a disco party. So we should organize a new choreography and singing and try new stuff, new acts on stage. There was no pressure at all. So it was great. I was very lucky to do that. And there was a lot of, corporate tours, brand tours, just like Coca-Cola. At this time, it was possible. It was allowed to promote cigarettes, just like you have a Marlboro tour all over France with hostess, singer, dancers in all the clubs in France.
Oh.
Yes, with national tour. So I did a lot of national tour like this, just like Coca-Cola, I did Pepsi, I did Havana for drinks, yes, stuff like that. It was not forbidden at this time, it was a long time ago. So it was a good school for that,
Yeah, you sort of learn on your feet.
Exactly, yes.
Do you remember the first time that you performed on stage in front of an audience?
An audience for free or an audience?
Well, sure, both. What was I want to know what the feeling was the first time that you were in front of an audience.
The first time I was in front of the audience, I was very young. It was for just like a Mardi Gras carnival. And with my teacher, we tried to create a small musical. I was very happy to be in costume and I felt very empowered. And Yes, I wasn't shy on stage. It was really strange. I was more shy when I was not completely, but on stage I feel very just like home and safe on stage. And after the same today, I feel home and very safe on stage. For me, the stage is not dangerous or painful. Or of course, I've got sometimes some stress, sometimes stomach aches, and you could be nervous. But after that, it's for me, it's a bliss to be on stage for me, and exchange with the audience is really powerful. And yes, it's really cathartic at the same time, and all the kind of neuroses and stuff and bad feeling you have to put in on stage and change it on stage. That's the power of art craft, to change the bad things in positive and good things and entertain at the same time. So yes, I was something like 7 years old, but I was very, I drove my mother crazy because I was very interested in art when I was very young with friends. I used to, for instance, put some my friends in my place during Wednesday. I was alone, and I used to have some Catholic classes. I said, "Mom, yes, I'm going," and I never went. And I was in my place every Wednesday, and I play some kind of improvisation plays to my friend. Sit down on the couch and watch me.
I did the same thing. I was like a dictator with my friends. I was like, I'm going to write,
Me
you're going to
too.
perform, I'm going to act, you're going to do this, now do this with the lights.
So I used to play different characters, and yes, really I've got that kind of thing already when I was very young and dancing in the street. But it's funny because when you look at your past and you said, okay, it's normal, it makes sense, but I didn't know I couldn't, do that as a job. So it was very happy to transform that spare time as a job, as a real job. Yes.
Yeah, you needed someone to tell you that not only is this possible, but you can actually be the one who does it.
That's true. Exactly.
That's amazing.
So I'm very happy to have that kind of teachers, and they teach me how to, to be very curious about everything and not to be, don't take things for granted, and to be curious all the time and to catch up a lot of stuff, music, quotes, a movie, and to mix it, to express yourself. It's very rare to have that kind of teacher teach you, no, don't do that because, it's a little bit complicated to do that kind of job. And they say, no, go for it, So it's very liberating. And yes, it's unique. I think if I haven't met those kind of people, maybe I won't be an artist today. I will be in a big office and...
I don't think so. You would have found your way somehow. I don't think so.
I don't know, because really those teachers have a really great impact on my life. And that movie did Poet Society, Carpe Diem, and wow, it's one of my favorite movie ever. Really changed my life completely. Yes.
For me too, and also the guys in it were pretty cute, and that didn't hurt.
I remember Robin Williams was the teacher. Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Yes, the talented Robin Williams.
Has it been hard for you to find a community that supports you?
I've got a really good support community with me. I know it wasn't, it was easy, yes, really. And there was a good friendship, and we used to give, tips to each other and advice. And I was very lucky to create the community. Yes. Very quick, very quick.
And you created a musical as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I created a musical with the Brown Sugar with my friends. We wrote it something like 10 years ago, but it's a long process. We found a director and a playwright with us. And we did different theaters. And we performed 2 years ago in a small theater in Paris. It's called Lucernaire, in the 6th district area. And we did something like 2 months, almost every night. And during the day, I was working in The Lion King. So it was a very long day. And I was exhausted, but happy. But I want 2 different shows, 2 musicals in a day at the same time. I won't do it anymore, but...
that sounds insane, yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. It was a very long day. And we have after a musical meet and greet with the people. And really, it was a very long day, but it was our creation. So it was difficult for me to say no, because that theater said, okay, we love the play, we love our musical, our creation, so let's do it in our theater. It was very difficult to say no to them.
If you're enjoying this podcast, you may enjoy our sister podcast, Molly on a Trip, Music Around Paris, which is brand new to the Paris Underground Radio Podcast Network. Molly sits down with local French artists or touring musicians from all over the world to talk about what's going on in their careers and what inspires them. Get insights into what these musicians love most about Paris. Check out Molly on a Trip, Music Around Paris now, available wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be right back with City of Muses after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to City of Muses on Paris Underground Radio.
Now we want to do it in a bigger theater, so we are talking about it with two producers. So we hope we're going to do it next year, yes. And it's a very important project. It's called Blax, Sex, Drug, and Soul Funk. It's ironic, and we pay tribute to the Black movies, because when I was young, my parents used to show me all kind of Black movies from the 70s. Quentin Tarantino was inspired by those movies, just like Cleopatra Jones and Foxy Brown and Shaft. And the soundtracks were amazing. And the movie were really powerful. All the time it was about pimps and pimps and whores. And but those movies were very graphic, and the fashion were always stylish. And some of them were a little bit B movies. There was always kung fu fighting. So we try in our musical to pay tribute to all kind of movies. And in a positive way, we talk about the ghetto, but we try to say that wherever you're from, if you were born in the ghetto, you can have a real life and be an artist and do whatever you want if you work hard. So it's very important to have a positive universal message. We talk about the Black community in Harlem in the 70s, but it could be, the Chinese community or the Jewish community, or you know what I mean? So it's very important not to be a Black Power. It's not a Black Power show. Of course, he has a great sense of humor, and women kick men's ass, kung fu fighting, really, because Cleopatra Jones, she was, just like a man. And we talk about not to be feminist, but at this time, that Black women try to be very independent. So she used to say, okay, I can have fun like you. I can pay my own rent. I don't need you. And, before Beyonce, before all kind of women, that women were very strong, and that Black female singer, just like Etta James, Candy Staton, and before Tina Turner, they were very strong. And Betty Davis, by Betty Davis, she was amazing. Their songs were very, raw and very, of course, explicit lyrics content, but very fierce. And you know what I mean? It was liberating to have that kind of moment. So we talk about that in the musical, about the women empowerment and positive message to say that we need to get united. And wherever, if you're born in a ghetto, you can survive, and you have to, and it's possible. That's what we want to say in that show. And people really loved it, because the audience were really mixed. And we don't talk about the Black community, we talk about, everyone. It's very important to me as an artist, as a singer, dancer, to reunite people, not separate. I don't think for one community, I don't think for every community. I try to, it's very important for me to have that thing in mind. And every time people say, yeah, you should do that, but if it's only one community, I won't be interested in it. It's not my type. For me, music has no sex, no boundaries, no gender, no color. So it's very important to reunite people and not talking about only one community, from my point of view.
And is it in French or in English?
It's in French. The acting part are in French, but of course the song, we used to take song from that soul funk for that kind of period. The hits, you have James Brown's song, Earth, Wind and Fire, Marvin Gaye, Bobby Womack, and very famous male singer. So we put that song in that acting.
Got it.
It makes sense. If you don't, if the French people don't speak English, they know the songs already, and the song is really with the action, so you understood what they're talking about. For instance, there's a song I love from Etta James. Before she used to sing jazz, and during the 70s, she used to sing soul funk music as well. And that song, You Can Leave Your Head On, Joe Cocker, it's a reprise song from Etta James. She was the first original singer from that song. You can leave your head on. But she used to say that to a guy originally. Because when Joe Cocker said that to a woman, he said, okay, it's common. But when at this time, a woman said to the guy, take off your coat and you can leave your head on, with a very, racy and voice.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? Really, I listened to the original song version. I said, we have to sing that song in a musical, because crazy to sing that song before the female rap singer today. there were Eta James and all kind of female used to sing that song, and in more refined way for me. Not you know what I mean. Not sometimes I think the black female in new industry, rap industry, or they want to be just like men sometimes and too much. You know what I mean? You need to find a right balance, you know, and Etta James, Betty Davis, all kind of women are so inspiring for me and for the show. So you listen to it, you will see. I will send you the links. It's
Okay.
amazing. Etta
Fabulous.
James singing, you can leave your head on. Amazing.
I'll include the link. So you also mentioned The Lion King. What is that experience like?
Wow, it was unique because it was in French. It was the Broadway version, but in French language. It was in 2007. We did 3 seasons. It was unique to have that kind of high level, you know, musical, very famous in France with 80% of black people artists. So it was really just like to be in a church with everyone and everybody was happy. It was a good feeling and it was really a real event in France, you know. So, and I was a Mufasa cover and I used to play the ensemble. And we have all the Disney crew and from New York. They went over in France for the
Wow.
rehearsal, for the step. And after the premiere, the French took the rest. It was amazing, really, because there was a real chemistry with each other. And we were really happy to be on stage. And there was no ego problem and stuff like that. Because I was a little bit scared. I said, oh, maybe too much, you know, singers with big ego is going to be a little bit, you know, complicated. Not at all. Because I think The Lion King, I saw a lot of production of The Lion King. The Lion King has a very special spirit. And if we're talking about the circle of life, we have to feel it on stage. It's not theoretical. We have to see it live. So in your state of mind, not like this, with, you know, generosity and keep it together spirit, it doesn't work, you know. So you have to feel it. So you just have to feel it. And when we're on stage, we really create a circle of life, you know. And just like today in Disneyland Paris, because it's different from the Broadway version, but it's the same spirit for me. So I think The Lion King, the creator, create a powerful piece of art. And it's always good to sing that song, beautiful song from Elton John and Hans Zimmer. And yes, there's something magical in The Lion King. In every country in the world they produced it, it was the same feeling, you know, really.
And you're still performing it in Disneyland Paris?
Yes, for The Lion King, but the modern version, the different version. It's a short version of half an hour. They built a theater 4 years ago, a new one, big one, and it's a mix of small Broadway and Cirque du Soleil. So you have something like 1,200 seats, and the theater is very beautiful, very modern. You have a perfect sound, and you have dancer acrobats in the air and beautiful costume. You don't feel like you're in Disneyland. Everybody was, instead of shock, because Mickey is not on stage, Donald, you know, nothing like this. We're not dressed in, you know, in plush. We're dressed as African warriors on stage. The costumes are beautiful. The arrangement are more modern. The choreography are more, sexy. I said, okay, Disney changed their mind. And it's a great, great, great success. It's sold out 4 times a day. It's crazy. Really.
Wow.
Yes, since 4 years, since 2019. It's crazy.
Wow.
Really. And they want to do it still maybe more than 10 years.
Wow.
Yes, so it's a great. Even the CEO, Bob Iger from the CEO from Walt Disney World, he went to Paris and he saw the show, and because of him, because he gave the money to do the show, you know, and we did a show, a very private show for him 1 year before the theater was built. And he went with his private jet and it was prototype costume and there was nothing. The theater wasn't built yet. And we performed for him. There were 20 like this, you know. And after the end, he shook our hands and he said, and I can see he said, it's going to be a great success. And he saw, of course, the money.
Take my money. Take my money.
But I couldn't feel it. It was very emotional. I could feel it in his eyes that it's going to be a success.
That's so cool.
Thank for Bob Iger to give the money and to give the opportunity to everyone to do something very creative and high level. Really, the sound, the technician, the effects. You don't feel like you're a Disney. And now they created a new show at the same level as The Lion King. It's called Together in the second park in the Walt Disney Park studio. And the opening starts this weekend, and it's a high level as well. It's very, very impressive. So I look forward to see it next week.
You're not in that one. You're just going to watch that one.
No. I'm going to watch that one because I'm in the Lion King. So
because you're already Scar and Mufasa. That's
Scar and Mufasa. It's enough, and you can do both. And as I said, this show there's no singers. It's all about dancers, acrobats, and actors. And characters. So there's no singing part. There's musician on stage at the beginning. A lot of musicians, but I don't want to spoil it. But I can wait because they put a lot of money and it's really creative, and I'm sure it's going to be a success as well, really. Because, they need there's two parts, and there was only the Lion King in the first part. There was no great shows just like the Lion King, the same level, And now it's together, it's balanced. They have the equivalent of a big show, Broadway show, sort of, in the second part. So I'm happy for the artist to perform in that new show, and it's great. It's great for everyone, so that's good. It's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. I'm going to change subjects a little bit. When I first met you, you were doing drag. Are you still doing drag?
I don't have the time for that. I wish. Second, because I'm not young, and my good friend is hosting the RuPaul Drag Race France. Nikki Doll. Yes, a good friend. It's one of my best friends. We've met 15 years ago. She was starting as a drag queen, and I've got a lot of friends try to be her mentor. You know what I mean? So it's good to see her grow. It's very impressive. Now she's in Las Vegas, in the Flamingo Theater from RuPaul, and she's performing for 1 month. And it's good to have that kind of French drag queen who have success. But I wish I could do it more, but I don't have the time for that. I prefer to do it from time to time, and they asked me to do the Drag Race France. I said no way, because it's not the same as in US. In US, you can be whatever you want. In the US, yes, you're an artist. You know what I mean? But in French, it's a little bit different. If you only do drag, people say, okay, you're just a transvestite, or you know what I mean? So they have the same, and they put you in a box, and I want to be in a box. You know what I mean?
You're less respected as an artist.
Yes, I think so. And I want to do drag. I want to do, Lion King, different stuff. I'm doing Bonhomme at the same time, different things. But in France, if they saw you only as a drag queen, forever they say, "Oh, it's a drag queen." You know what I mean? It's different. Yes, it's not the same mentality, and that's why I don't want to do drag 7 days a week. You know what I mean? So I love it, but
it becomes your identity and not part of your identity.
Exactly. Yes, it's a part of my identity, but I don't want to do it 7 days a week. I want to change and to be versatile, and don't want to do it every day. But I'm going to do it next week. There's a party organized with the Lion King, and I'm going to do an act with another singer from the Lion King too. Is doing Timon, and he has a persona as a drag princess Eve After.
What's your drag name?
Lady Chocolat.
Right, yes.
So, not chocolate, chocolat. It's French.
Chic. It's more chic.
So I can't wait to do that next week. I'm going to perform. Yes, I'm doing drag once a time, 2 times a year. Yes. I used to do it more often, but I don't have the time. It's too, you know what I mean? I'm working on my album, and I've got concert. I'm working with the Lion King. It takes me a lot of time. So you can do everything at the same time. It's complicated, You have to focus and select what you want.
Is Paris the most romantic city in the world? Host Lily Heisey answers this very question in her podcast, Romancing in Paris, which takes you through the city, arrondissement by arrondissement, by exploring the most romantic and hidden spots Paris has to offer. Listen now to Romancing in Paris on parisundergroundradio.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be right back with City of Muses after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to City of Muses on Paris Underground Radio. So with all your other free time, tell me about this album that you just dropped.
Yes, there's one single is out now. It's called Whatever It Is You Got. And the album is going to be by the end of September out. It's EP. It's only 6 tracks. And the name of the album, you're going to laugh. I'm not talking about me. It's called Black Narcissus. And
are you sure?
No. I pay tribute to a eponym movie. It's called Black Narcissus. It's a Hollywood movie from the 50s. And I love that movie so much. And you can find it in YouTube, the whole movie. In Technicolor, they won the best award, photography award. If the director is the director who direct the Red Shoes, you know.
Oh, wow.
So you have Deborah Kerr. She's playing in the movie. It happens in India. It's a convent with nuns. And that convent used to be a harem for Maharaja. So all the nuns are very uptight. And in that place, all the desire and frustration are coming out, you know. And the convent is surrounded by toxic plants. There's a very strange atmosphere. And the guy, Indian guy in the lotus positions is praying. So my album talking about that kind of fight against desire and religion. You can be religious and, you can have a sex life for me. So it was very important to talk about that kind of desire and knowledge, because we talk about knowledge. And you will see that movie, it's a masterpiece for me, and a lot of values I would like to express in my album. You know, that identity and the knowledge of to know yourself, you know, and accept, yes, to be spiritual at the same time sex, because for me, a desire, it's life, you know, so it's a positive value. So not only, I'm not talking about sexual desire, but desire of exactly, passion, and to challenge yourself and to transcend yourself. When you want something, you desire something, if only in your mind, you won't have it. You have to fight and do something. So it lifts you up and upgrade you. So you need to do that for me to transcend and challenge all the time. And that's my problem, because sometimes I want to challenge. It requires a lot of energy, and people say, you're crazy. And sometimes I'm doing many things at a time. That's why the first track of my album, Whatever It Is You Got, I Want Some, it's talking about that. I know if we can aches, and even if it aches, I want to challenge, and I will do it, you know. So I prefer to go inside the fire, positive fire, instead of, you know, go around. So that's I was born this way. I just can't help it. So it makes people sometimes crazy about me, but always positive things, you know, of course. But sometimes I'm fighting with 5, 6 projects at a time, but
I understand.
I just can't help it.
Yeah, I understand. I'm exactly the same way.
You know what I mean? You know?
If I have an idea, I want to do it, and you know,
exactly.
I might as well
and if
get it done.
That's true. If I have 5 ideas at the same time, I try to do the same quality and fight for each of them. So
exactly. So my last question for you is
yes.
about your life in Paris. How do you think that Paris has helped or hurt you as an artist?
I was born for me in the age of Paris. Everything was possible. There was no social networks. There was no, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. It was for me more easier to meet people and go for it. And now it's more complicated. You know, there's a lot of artists and good artists, and everything is possible. You can do produce your own music. Before that, it wasn't possible. The competition is harder. And in Paris, you have a mainstream, culture, and at the same time you have underground culture. I'm doing both, so it's a little bit difficult sometimes to be independent, and at the same time you want to have more fame, and you need to write some more mainstream songs and stuff. So sometimes I'm a little bit fight in myself to do both. It's very important to do things very special and unique sort of way, and at the same time to sell it, you know. And so it's a real competition in myself sometimes. And Paris, you have a lot of open-minded people, and at the same time you have just like in Europe, people more, you know, closed, and it's a little bit difficult, yes, today to have you have a lot of good things. At the same time, we feel, you know, we're going backwards. You saw the riots a few weeks ago. You can protest on the street, I can understand, but why burning cars? Why burning shops and schools? And I don't understand that action. So it kills your action. If you do that, it has no meanings. So yes, it's very inspiring, and because everything is possible. At the same time, you have a lot of stuff in Paris who, you know, try to get you down, and so you have to fight every time. Yes, more than ever. Yes, but it's still possible. You know.
Yeah, lots of opportunities, lots of choices, but sometimes the choices that you have are not necessarily the ones that you want, and sometimes there's
exactly
too much competition, and sometimes you end up doing something that you don't want to do. Or
that's true. Definitely. And people are very, you know, they want likes. followers, likes, and they forgot the content,
Yes, exactly. The message.
the message. So you have to fight a little bit more than before. You know what I mean? But it's okay. I'm very happy. I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm very fortunate. One more time.
Yeah, what I think is good is that you have so much energy and it's so positive. And because you're involved in so many things, it means that you're spreading this positive energy in so many different directions. And I think that's wonderful.
That's true. And for instance, for this Independence Day, I'm going to perform with the Boney M because I used to work with them with the original Boney M. And yes, I auditioned 6 months before the lead vocals before died. And I've got somebody who will replace me when I'm, not free. But I'm going to perform with them this Thursday and sing all the disco classic hits, Rasputin and Ma Baker and
amazing.
Really with I love to do that too. So sometimes when I have time, the ladies are very fantastic, amazing ladies. So they travel all over the world, something like 25 times, and they're still fresh and just like that kind of curiosity and just like teenagers on stage. That's almost 70 years old, and they look like they have no wrinkles at all. And I was looking at them. I said, "Oh, what is your secret, ladies?" No Botox, no nothing. Really, they're really amazing and very positive. So it's good to do, one time Lion King, Boney M, Blax, Brown Sugar, and other stuff. I'm touring with Hans Zimmer, by the way. Yes, Hans Zimmer.
What?
Yes, I did it. It's a franchise. He has Hans Zimmer Live. Is on stage. There's another franchise. It's called The Word of Hans Zimmer. And the third one, I'm doing the third one. It's been 2 years. It's called The Music of Hans Zimmer and Others. And I'm performing The Lion King in tuxedos with 100 musicians. It's more classical, And there's a opera singer who sing Gladiator and all kind of stuff that we can sing. And I did the first tour 2 years ago. And I did the winter tour. It's a European winter tour. There were 60 gigs almost every day. So now there's a summer tour. I'm not involved because I'm in the Lion King. There's only 20 gigs. And I'm going to do the next winter tour by middle of December till March next year. So we used to perform in all the theater in Germany, in Italy, in Iceland, in Finland, or whatever. So we're very happy. And I sing The Lion King one more time because Hans Zimmer wrote half of the Lion King. So in tuxedo and more operatic. I can send you the link. I'm very fortunate to do that. And we used to do in Paris the Salle Pleyel. I love that Salle Pleyel is close to Arc of Triomphe. And it's a beautiful venue place, concert place. So we'll do it again next year by March in Paris, yes. With the music director. Of course, Hans Zimmer is not with us. He's not on stage because it's a franchise. But they used to play all his material. They play Gladiator, Pirates of the Caribbean, Interstellar, Inception, Sherlock Holmes, and The Lion King. So with two other singers with me in the Broadway version in Paris. There's a girl who used to play Rafiki. She's from South Africa. She's performed with me. And another guy who used to do Simba, and a girl who used to do Nala in the Broadway version in Paris. So yes, it's a new adventure again. And
how cool. When do you sleep?
Good question. I think it's my first days off after 3 weeks, and I'm going to sleep after the interview.
Well, I appreciate you taking your day off to talk to me. So where can people find you and your projects if they want to keep up to date with what you're doing?
I think most of in Instagram, you have all the links and all the stuff, and even links from Hans Zimmer, from my musical Blax, from the Brown Sugar. It's in my Instagram right now. And I'm doing my website. It will be finished on work on progress. It will be online by August. Yes. I know it's a lot of information, a lot of stuff at the same time. But now I'm finished The Lion King till September. After I'm going to do the promotion of my album, Black Narcissus. And after Black Narcissus, it's going to be the winter tour with Hans Zimmer. Yes. And I will do The Lion King again because I love to do The Lion King 6 months in the year, So it's perfect. And you used to call me back, so I can't say no. Because Scar is a good character. I love to play Scar on stage. It's good to be to play the villain on stage. It's so
you get to express your Your inner bad boy.
Yeah, and Scar is very feminine. For me, it's just like a drag queen sometimes, you know? It's very, very feminine. At the time, it can be masculine and sarcastic and, very
I love it.
badass. And no, really, it's and you can change every day, you know? Mufasa, the father, it's different, you know? You have to be more masculine and it's the same level. But Scar, you can change every time and be a little bit crazy and ironic and, make fun of the hyenas. And so I love it. It's really entertaining and people loved it. So I'm very happy that I got a message from the audience, private message. Hey, we love you in Scar, come back, blah, blah, blah. Really, it's, you have a lot of people coming on stage. I say, I play the villain on stage. I'm a bad guy on stage. We don't care. We love you.
But I'm scary.
So it's very funny, yeah, because you're very bad on stage. At the end, during the run of applause, at the end, you like this, hey, kisses. I say, okay, what's going on with it? He just killed Simba. He was very tyrannic, and now he's sending kisses to the audience. Yeah, but that's me at the end. I'm not Scar doing the bows and. I'm myself. So some people, there's a little bit for the children, them looking at me like this a little bit, strangely. But I love it because I want to say to them that, yes, okay, it's a character. Now the curtain's down and I'm not in the parade walking on the street. We're on stage. It's a character and the curtain's down. So I can be myself. So that's good.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Orlando. Thank you for taking the time on your day off to speak to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for your good energy and sharing with artists like us. I'm very happy.
Thank you. Me too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to City of Muses. If you like what you've heard, please take a moment to rate and review it. This is the fastest and easiest way to help support the podcast. Tell a friend who could use a little inspiration. You can also subscribe to the Paris Underground Radio newsletter over on our website, which comes out every Sunday and gives a little peek into what's on the network for the week ahead. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, and you can find me on all socials at Jennyphoria. That's JennyPhoria. Thank you for listening, and may you find inspiration wherever you go. City of Muses was produced by Jennifer Garrity for Paris Underground Radio.